Hello everyone, this is Hillbilly Heath with a knife review for you. This is a knife that I haven't been able to find many reviews on YouTube on this, and thought it was interesting, and especially being made in the USA and 154 cm steel. I thought I'd give it a shot and see what it was all about, but there wasn't any reviews on it, so I thought I would do one myself and let everyone know about this blade and what I think about it. This is the Fox Knives Amico. Now, Fox Knives is an Italian company, and they started making knives in the United States, in Washington, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that city because hillbillies can't pronounce words like that. But it is a USA produced knife, and like I said, I like the blade shape. I found it interesting, so I thought I'd give it a try. For some quick specs on it here, let me go here and see if I can find. The blade length is 3.5 inches. The actual cutting edge is 3 inches. Closed, it is 4.6 inches. Overall length is 8 inches. Like I said, it's 154 cm steel with a hollow grind. On Knife Center, they're calling it a drop point. I would call it more of a sheep's foot blade myself, but that's what they got on here. Satin finish, and this is the gray FRN model. There are other models with different colored handles. They have a blue and a black, and I believe they also make a model with G10 that is, black G10 that is more expensive. This is a lockback design, lockback knife. It says also on the side here that it has washers, but I have taken this apart and there is no washers in there to help with the deployment. Not Teflon, not phosphor bronze, no washers whatsoever, and which makes it it's a little bit stiff, but maybe if it breaks in it'll get a little smoother. I don't know, but as of right now it's a little, you can tell it's a little gritty when you're opening it up. It does have a pocket clip, and that's an issue I'll get to here in a little bit, but it is tip up only, but left or right side. You can flip that over and put that over here. And the weight is another thing that drew me to this knife. It is a very lightweight knife for its size at 2.6 ounces. That's very light. But like I said, a USA knife at this price range with this steel and this weight always draws my attention, and especially with this blade style here, I really like that. I'm not a real big fan of the hollow grind, but the sheep's foot style here, I do like that. It's got some pros and cons with this blade though, and I'll try to talk about that. Like I said, the blade itself, the shape of it, I love it. It's got some nice jimping on the back of the spine here, and it's also got some jimping right here, which I'm not real sure. I could see maybe if you're in your forward finger choil here, putting your thumb here and maybe doing some kind of push cut like that, but that seems a little far away from my thumb. My thumb's really stretched out there to do that. If they was going to put jimping for that reason, I think it would have been more comfortable right here. But whatever, maybe it's just an aesthetics thing, I don't know, but it's there. And like I said, there is a forward finger choil that works very well. No jimping on it, but it does work, and you can choke up on the blade and get some fine cutting done. The handles are nice. It's, like I said, it's an FRN. It is texturized. You can hear it there. It's pretty grippy in this part, and it's kind of contoured for your fingers to set in rather nicely. And the shape of it's kind of pistol grip shaped, as you can see there, and my hand fits in it very well. You know, I got like large size hands, and you know, it fits pretty well. There's a little bit of a hot spot right here where my pinky's kind of catching that little hump right here, but other than that, it feels pretty good, except for one other minor issue, and I'll get to that in a minute as well. The first issue I have with this is the pocket clip, and where and the way it is positioned. You see how it kind of it's angled in this position here to the right, or the bottom right here. Because of that, and because how deep it is, you see it looks like you just have maybe that much of the knife sticking out of your pocket, but that's really not the case, and I'll try to show you what I'm talking about. I got a pair of jeans here. Let me move this out of the way. See how this rides? That's quite a bit of knife sticking up out of the pocket, and because of the angle on it, it kind of pushes the knife this way towards the front of the pocket. So it was, you know, it's always wanting to do that, and it's because it's of this hump right here. You know, it kind of wants to do this number, and it's really uncomfortable in the pocket. That was the first thing I noticed when I stuck it in my pocket, is the ride of it was very uncomfortable, and I did not like that at all. I usually prefer deep carry clips, and I thought maybe I could get past it with this knife, but no, it's the way it carries is not comfortable at all. Another issue is the overall fit and finish of it. There's some, can you see this right here, where they like did the injection molding of the FRN, and something went wrong. There's like a little hump right here, and that's where a lot of my grip is on my fingers right there, and it kind of pokes into my finger, and it's really uncomfortable. Now I know that you know, I could take another knife and or a Dremel or something, kind of smooth that out, but I just wanted to show you this, how it came from the factory. You know, other than that, my main issue with the knife is this: the detent, or lack thereof. See how I did that little flip and the blade's kind of sticking out the end of the handle? Hear it? See it almost come out. But since this is a tip-up carry knife, and it's going to sit in my pocket, say this is the inside of my pocket like this, and if that's rattling around like that and I reach in to grab it, there's the possibility of me slicing my finger open. That makes me nervous. I mean, that makes me as nervous as John McCain in a Vietnamese restaurant. That's not good at all. I'd hate to reach into my pocket and slice my finger open just trying to reach for my blade. Another thing with this knife is the deployment. Because of where this the stud is here, I kind of gotta do a circus act, and my thumb almost have to reposition my hand to get it all the way deployed. And because it lacks washers of any kind, there's no real flipping it like that open, and I've loosened this pivot screw and everything trying to get it to do that, but it just won't happen. So I just kind of gotta slowly roll it, but then I kind of run out of room when I get out here, and I really gotta stretch my thumb to get that thing open. And that's another thing that has me not liking this knife at all. And these issues, when I talk about the price point, really has me scratching my head, because this is a $60 knife. You can find it maybe a little bit cheaper, maybe $55 on some sites, but most places have it right at $60. And for that price point, I shouldn't be having these issues. I mean, there's a lot of other knives around this price that don't have those issues and are way more functional. One of them is this one. And the reason I want to bring this one out is for two reasons. One, I believe this is a Boker Patriot. Boker is a German company that started making knives in the USA, just like Fox. And I believe I read where Fox had something to do with the production of the Boker line in the United States. Now, they could be made in the same factory, I don't know, but when you kind of look at them, you could see where that could be true. But the Patriot is a much better knife. It's also a lockback, also 154 cm steel. You got this nice saber grind, and the handle's also FRN texturized, and it feels good in the hand. But there's not those fit and finish issues or detent issues like with this knife. It carries very well. It's got a deep carry clip. There's only about that much sticking out. It's a lot slimmer, even lighter weight than this one. But this one's a much better knife than that. And for, $5–10 more, I'd much prefer to have it. And another knife that a lot of people compare this knife to, the Boker, the Delica 4 from Spyderco, is also around that price range. And there's a ton of reviews of this knife on the YouTube. So if you want to see any on it, all you got to do is push it in and they'll pop up by the boatload. But this is also a great knife. Full flat grind on the blade there. This is an excellent slicer. And also lightweight, maybe not as long a blade, but still very nice. If you're looking for something maybe even a little cheaper, the Bird Raven 2 with CTS BD1 steel, Bird's like the budget line of Spyderco knives. For $45 you can have this blade, and this is an excellent blade as well. Full flat grind on that blade, about the same length as on the Amico. It's a little heavier knife, but it's got G10 scale, so that feels really good. It is a liner lock, but also an excellent choice if you're looking for something around that price range. I think what Fox Knives was trying to do with this knife was try to make something similar to this. And this is the knife I always point people towards if they're wanting an all-around good pocket knife. This is the Spyderco Manix 2 lightweight. This is the Knife Center exclusive model with the CTS XHP steel, which I've come to like very well. I love the weight of this knife, the way it feels in your hand. It's top notch. Blade shape, full flat ground. I mean, this is an all-around great knife. I can use this knife for several different tasks, including self-defense if I had to. This would be a great lightweight self-defense knife. But I believe that's what maybe Fox was trying to do, go along the lines of something like this, a lightweight, larger blade knife. And really, they didn't quite do it. They didn't do it well, I'll put it like that. The design is great, but somebody dropped the ball on this one. I mean, this had potential to be a very good knife, and it just isn't. So if you're interested in one of these, I would consider maybe saving a little money and go ahead and getting the Manix lightweight. Or if you want something about the same price, I'd maybe get one of these two. Or if you want something maybe even a little cheaper, the Bird Raven 2 is a good option. But right now, I don't know if it's maybe this is one of the first runs and they're having some issues with them. But right now, I would not purchase this knife. Thanks for your time. You all have a beautiful evening. Good night.